All right, so today we are going to talk about one of our favorite clients, our longest running client, Hilti.
The ask was 40 videos in 2 days, which is a lot.
It is extremely different, but also kind of the same thought process of like a commercial campaign or something more conventional.
It's going to look so good. I'm just like, I'm ready to post it.
I think you guys have done an incredible job. It's been exciting.
Founded in 1999 by Jason Burks, Retrospec Films is Oklahoma's largest turnkey production company of its kind. With a full-time team of over 20 talented individuals, a 12,000 square foot studio to create in, and a resume that spans some of the world's largest brands, if you love learning about filmmaking and storytelling, you've come to the right place. On each episode, we discuss the pursuit of creating things and the problems we solve by digging up projects from the last 20 years, giving you a glimpse behind the scenes where the magic happens. You're listening to Retrospec Films from the archives.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us on Retrospec from the Archives. This is our in-house podcast where we dig up projects from the past, sometimes years, decades, sometimes last week, and we talk about the different problems that we solve from logistics, creative, production, shooting, editing, color grading, finishing, sound design, all the different things. So we're very excited that you joined us today to talk about a pretty cool project. Joining me today is Alicia.
Hi.
I always like to fumble through people's titles. I don't even know what we'd call your title because you do so many things.
Yeah, I think on the website it says photographer, editor, and videographer.
Yeah, and you do all those things.
Yeah.
But you do use your brain in the creative space and the ideation space a lot too.
For sure, for sure. And sometimes hair and makeup on the bigger projects.
That's right. And then Adam writes, directs, shoots, edits, color grades. That's probably mostly it.
Yeah.
All right, so today we are going to talk about one of our favorite clients, our longest running client, Hilti Power Tools, which used to be headquartered in Tulsa for North America. Their global headquarters is in Liechtenstein, over by Switzerland. And we've been doing work for them since I was 22 years old, and I am 42 now, so 20 straight years.
Wow.
That's right. And we do a lot of projects for them. We've done lots of podcasts over cool projects that we've done for Hilti. But today we're specifically going to be talking about social. Mm-hmm. So this is kind of a fun sector because honestly, it was years ago, probably 4 or 5 years ago, we had talked with them like, hey, we would love to do some of your social content. And then this last year they said, hey, let's see what we can do, which has been really, really exciting. So I want to start maybe with you, Alicia, because obviously you're of the generation that likes social media more than me and likes to turn your camera the wrong direction.
The selfie direction?
Whatever that is. No, actually, I just meant sideways.
Oh.
The selfie direction, yes, that
too. Yeah.
That too. But tell me a little bit about when this project came to you, like, because I know it's been a few months now. But tell me a little bit about what the thought was, what the plan was, what the expectation was.
Yeah, so the pre-pro side was all Brandon. He had it all calculated. He was the one that had meetings with the team and to get like their inspiration on things. So by the time we got to set, like everything was all laid out. We did have one meeting or two beforehand just to show what they were wanting, like what gear we should get and all the things. And so the ask was 40 videos in 2 days, which is a lot of videos. And so Adam and I teamed up, and so I did 20 videos. He did 20 videos. And it was nice because I had Garber as to help like with assisting the camera and setting up the lights, and then Adam had Mark. So we tag team on that, and we had all these different like series, which is like a bundle of 4 or 5 videos that are like sort of the same but different topics of like different tools or different scenarios of the series. So yeah, I'm trying to think like videos exactly we did in the August one, but I can say the one recently that I really enjoyed was this one that's called like the Tool Body Trust Fall, and it was like Crystal was the one that recommended it, but it's basically a tool falls out of frame and then a new one comes up into it, and it just like it was very seamless and pretty, and with Garber's like lighting abilities it just looks so pretty, and I was like, I was like, this is why I do what I do. It's just so nice. And then by the time it gets to be on social media, it's going to look so good. I'm just like, I'm ready to post it.
That's awesome. I'm curious, and this is a funny question, so I don't know how you're going to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
But do you, it's interesting. I was, probably because of my age, I was resistant to shooting vertical for a long time. But now I realize, like, I don't want to turn my phone sideways.
Mm-hmm.
And most content gets created vertically that primarily is going to be shot on a phone.
Mm-hmm.
So even when I'm a part of things that say it's like climb Tulsa or whatever, I'm like, yeah, like you should shoot it vertical. I'm curious for you, do you actually, and I'm sure you feel the same. You're like, yeah, it's on a phone. You're holding it upright. It should fill the frame, right?
Mm-hmm.
But do you prefer vertical, like, or do you just like think if it's like on my phone, it should be vertical?
It just depends. Like for Instagram, I feel like it's vertical. But like because I also do weddings on the side, right? And it's just like, of course, that's horizontal.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I just feel like if it's going to be on Instagram, it has to be vertical.
Yeah.
That's just my humble opinion. But that trend that we had a couple weeks or months ago where it was like super, super like horizontals like crunched down. But hey, for Brahms, and that was really cool and a really cool like impact because we got like over 15,000 views or something. So I don't know. With trends with social media, you never know what will happen in the future. But primarily, I think vertical is the way to go for Instagram. But
So Adam, let me get your feelings because
Opposite.
I can see you letterboxing. Your 16 by 9's not even enough. Like you're one.
Yeah.
You're like this is like gonna be like 2:1.
You need like CinemaScope.
CinemaScope, exactly. But this is kind of an interesting project for you because I would say that it's not. Yeah, I don't even know if I could say definitively what the Adam projects are, but I guess they're kind of all over the board. I do know that historically you've worked on Hilti things like on World of Concrete, so you have a good sense of the brand and a good sense of transitions and things like that. So tell me, first a little bit about working on these, and I'd love to know maybe what your favorite one is that you've created. But then beyond that, I'd love to get kind of your feelings about flipping the camera sideways.
Yeah, so most of the stuff, like you said, I've worked on for Hilti are brand projects that are, horizontal, shot normally. Sometimes they're concepted or scripted beforehand or like a VO or something. Or it's like the quick run and gun event style stuff like World of Concrete. So this was definitely different, rig. In our case, some of it was shot on a phone by Alicia, but I didn't have any of the series or concepts that were shot on a phone. They wanted them all still shot with like a cinema camera, but just like lenses and all that stuff, but literally just turning it and rigging it sideways, which was a challenge. Mark was the AC. And so we had like an L bracket and the R5Cs flipped sideways and the screen flipped up and then a monitor coming out. And it looked like just this insane ball of like wires and cables and batteries and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's not my preferred method. Just like kind of an understatement. But I was like, I don't even know where to safely grab this camera and like mount it to something. And we're being really creative. And that's kind of what's cool about a challenge like that kind of pushes you out of that norm where you kind of are forced to be creative, not just in the concept or in the lighting or in the movement, but in like, how do I even rig this camera in a way that still accomplishes everything I need it to do? For sure. So that was kind of the challenge for me of like, sometimes I'm seeing my strange rig and then I'm looking over at Garber and Alicia and like, I kind of wish I was just doing it on the phone for this one.
Yes.
Because it seems so much straightforward. I can just knock so many things out and I'm here like, I like the rig and I like the image that's coming out of it and the client really likes the image. But like, if you saw, I wish we had a still of what I was working with that day. It looks so bizarre. And we're having it on a slider and doing all of these like macro shots with it. It just looks like the most bizarre setup ever. But that's kind of the thing I remember the most. And then as for a favorite one, we had some cool, from this most recent one, we had a batch of holiday spots. So like Christmas, Thanksgiving, and New Year's. And there were two of the holiday ones that I kind of liked the most, which were Hilti has this, it's called the Pro Kit. And it's this stackable modular cases that can hold, consumables or tools. And then it can also be a workstation. And also has a trolley that can click in behind it and you can just take it anywhere you want. So we had Santa, like it's his presents or his sleigh or something. That was the concept that we came up with to have him pull it across. He kind of unlatches it. We had like fake snow on the ground. They like had this water-based snow that they were kind of throwing up in the air, and it's literally just a tracking shot on a slider following Santa in the toolkit, and then it just says Merry Christmas. It's like 15 seconds long, but we were able to orchestrate all of like the lighting to look like day for night, even though we were inside their studio. And it just kind of looks cool. It's really simple, but that's the kind of thing of like building all of that complex stuff just for something that's 15 seconds and really just organized and just right in that small space kind of pays off. And then the other thing was more of an edit for that same holiday campaign, but it was New Year's. So there's that, I always pronounce it wrong, but that New Year's song, like All Lang Syne or something, like a da 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 da. It's like the New Year's song that they play everywhere.
Yes.
I made that song out of the Tools sound effects.
No.
So it's like saws and drills and all of that stuff. And we're like working with like the music and pitching everything and just gathering a bunch of tools that Alicia and I shot that week and figuring out like what tone of music is this tool, is the sound here, and how can we like put that, like map it to like a keyboard and like play that, or like how do we figure that out? So it turned out pretty good. So those are kind of the two that stand out from that social campaign.
Well, let's play a couple of those right now before I talk too much. Those are super fun. Well, one of the things that you have to quickly realize in social is that it is information that's consumed in a different manner than so many other mediums. Like it's not even anything similar to like a movie theater. And it's really not that similar to watching television, maybe being on Netflix and clicking on a movie that you want to see. It's a different environment than that. And it's probably also, it's very different than even watching the news and a commercial runs. Mm-hmm. And it's I don't know that there's a word for it. Maybe there is, but I feel like there's sort of a tonality or an expectation that a human takes when they're on social media that has different parameters and expectations. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Because I feel like it's unique in social, like you can do things that that people will laugh at on their phone. And if they saw that on a TV in a commercial break, they'd be like, what is this crap?
That's dumb.
That's dumb. But like in this environment,
right,
it was perfect. Additionally, which I want to get some thoughts from you guys on that. But additionally, there's also like the consumption factor with social. Whereas like social, if you're making stories, it's like it's burned up in one day. It is gone, And even on post, like if you watch the traffic on a post, like you put it up, it gets the majority of its traffic in the first 48, 72 hours, and then it's done, So I'm curious kind of back to like that thinking, and I don't know how much of the ideation you guys got to play in, but even if you didn't, you still had to direct these shoots. So you had to it had to make sense to you, and you had to like it. And if you didn't like it, you had to fix it. So I want to start with you, Alicia. Talk to me just a little bit about your opinions on social ideation, parameters, expectations, but then take it to maybe specifics of with Hilti and kind of where you have felt like these have gone, maybe how they're different than other Hilti videos you see us do.
Well, so for social, I tend to just be like 15 seconds to 30 seconds at most because, like, if it's too long, then the audience will get bored. That's just like, I get bored whenever it's past 30 seconds, unless it's like content that I really like, which is like hair and makeup and like the influencers, and they're like, I've seen some where they're just like telling a story while they're putting on their makeup, but just like also I'm like intrigued like how her makeup's gonna look. Also, like the story can be very captivating. Like one particular one that I think of as like a funny content is like tag a contractor, and it's like tag a contractor who treats their like tool like their child or treats it like they're obsessed. And so I had the guy like, I was like, if I'm obsessed with something, what do I do? And so he's like polishing it, and he's like, he like kisses it, and that was like that kiss like action was like just very brief. I was like, "How about you kiss it?" He's like, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, just kiss it." So like, and then Ben loved it. He was like, "That's hilarious." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna get that." So it's just like it's a lot of give and take, and just like also helps seeing like what their content is like on their own, like without us, and so like see what they already post and like try to mimic that, but like in a cinematic way, and yeah.
That's cool. That's great. And I'm sure too, like, I do think different perspectives sometimes will bring something unique inevitably, because how common would it be that content with tools is always created by like 35-year-old dudes? And that does make sense to some extent. Like, I probably think things are funnier that are funny to people like me, but then having a different perspective is what brings some new flair to it, you know? And as you know, in social, new and trendy and changing is everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For sure. And it's always changing. And there's
Yep.
always different rules. Like, I think a couple weeks ago, Instagram's like, check this out. It's a new feature. I'm like, oh, great. Another.
I saw that. Yeah, I refuse to do, what's their thing? It's not stories. It's like something else.
Oh, is it
not
like the, yeah,
Threads
so it's
or-
not Threads?
Maybe it's Threads. Yeah, I
Okay.
haven't done it. Have you done it?
I think I posted like when it first came out,
Yeah.
but that was like.
I'm like, I can't.
That was
Like,
a long
I
time
can't
ago.
have 15 different weird ways to post things.
Oh, for
So,
sure. For
yeah.
sure. I don't know how people do it.
Yeah. So, Adam, what would your opinion be? You know, you're obviously a little bit older than Alicia. Well, not like obviously, but like.
I remember life before the internet.
Yes, exactly. Talk to me a little bit about your opinion on just the parameters. And I think this one would be unique coming from you too, because you're way more used to like writing and directing and shooting like something that is in a captive environment or a specific environment, where social is like a distracted, barely care environment.
Yeah, so the thing that I always come back to when we're on the set for these Hilti social things is it is extremely different, but also kind of the same thought process of like a commercial campaign or something more conventional, where as the director, you're trying to get in the mind of the viewer and the audience. And so whether that's like they're going to see this on TV and they're the client's intended audience, like how are they thinking? What are they going to think of this? And so I think of that with the Hilti social thing, and it reminds me of World of Concrete, where we meet their Hilti's like influencers, the tool influencers and the social media people who are like the tool audience for a company like Hilti's social media.
Yeah.
And I've met some of these guys, and I talked to some of these guys. A lot of them are like really in the weeds, in particular about like this tool has to do this thing, and they're very much like the ones typing up the comments of like calling them out if there's something wrong or something inconsistent or something. So trying to remember those guys. They all have like funny like profile pictures and like characters and stuff on social media, but for someone like me who kind of avoids social media like personally, having to figure out when Hilti has this idea that they are wanting to do that kind of mimics a trend out there, I need to get really familiar with what that is and why that's successful on its own, and then how Hilti wants to apply it to their tools. So they had one that was like, there's a genre called like Get Ready With Me, which is usually a girl who is putting her makeup on but telling a story of like, here's, you won't believe what happened, kind of like what Alicia was saying.
Yeah.
They wanted to kind of do that, but with a guy who was setting up, instead of putting makeup on, he's setting up his tool for the application.
Right.
And so he's telling a story of one time before I used this tool that had this torque control safety, I got whipped in the face really bad by using another tool, and he's like setting it up, and he's saying like, now with Hilti, blah, 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 and then he like does it and it's safe and all of that stuff. So trying to figure out what's successful about the storytelling of a girl putting on makeup and trying to take the strengths of that and be like, where can we change or where do we have to change to make it also as intriguing of a story of a guy setting up a tool for the job.
Yeah.
So kind of familiarizing yourself with the stuff that I'm not familiar with, but at the same time, it's like getting in the mind of the viewer and what they're going to think anyway.
That's great. Well, I think you guys have done an incredible job. It's been exciting because even for us, like, kind of, I think for round one was kind of experimental, and at the same time, like, not that I have to be a part of everything, but I wasn't even asked to be a part, and but you know, having directed, gosh, probably hundreds of Hilti shoots myself, I was like, okay, well, I hope it goes great, you know, and it was really exciting when, you know, I heard that the content was getting a ton of feedback, really positive feedback, ton of traction. They're like, hey, we want to just like do this. So that's been exciting. So it's, you know, congrats to you guys for doing such a good job.
Thanks. And it shows that we can do 40 videos in 2 days.
40 videos in 2 days is quite a feat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's awesome. All right, well, we appreciate you guys joining us on today's episode. If you enjoyed what you saw, we've got 50, 60 episodes across season 1, season 2 of our podcast on our website, retrospecfilms.com, and tons of our work if you want to check some of that out. And you can also find our podcast any place that you watch or listen to podcasts. So we appreciate you joining us today, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
See you guys.